Hey guys, so today we are going to be cleaning my Pacman Frog's Fiona enclosure. I asked you guys on last week's video when I did my haul if you guys wanted to see her, and a lot of you did because you haven't seen her in a while. So today that is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to go ahead and clean out her enclosure fully, give her all new bedding. It's been a while since I've done a full clean. I've just been doing little spot cleans, and we're also going to be adding this new heat mat. If you watch that haul, you know that currently I use a ceramic heat emitter, and I'm going to switch from that to a heat mat. The main reason being is the ceramic heat emitter dries out her enclosure insanely fast, so I have to mist it all the time. And I do keep my house pretty warm, so she doesn't really need that much supplemental heating. So I think the heat pad will be plenty of heating for her, and then her cage will stay nice and humid. Also, if you guys don't follow me on my other social medias, I don't know why you don't. They're always linked in the description like always. You might be a little shocked by my hair right now. I dyed it last week. There's no big reason why I dyed it. I just never dyed my hair before. Wanted to try something new. I'm still trying to get a little bit of the color out. I've been soaking it in purple shampoo, so hopefully we'll get a little bit more white than this. I just wanted to mention that. I'm sure some of you will love it. I'm sure some of you will hate it, but so far I'm liking it. It is a huge change. I also don't know how it really looks in this lighting, so I don't know if it's really true or not. But I also want to mention that this Friday's video is pre-recorded. I recorded that last weekend when my mom was here, so my hair is going to be brown in Friday's video. I didn't dye it back or anything already. It's just a pre-recorded video, but every video past then will be this hair. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab Fiona and put her in her critter keeper where she's gonna stay while I clean it. I'm not gonna film this part just because I don't ever hold Fiona. There's a couple reasons why I don't. Of course, I never really hold her because she is a frog, and you shouldn't really hold frogs more than you absolutely need to, because your skin is not good for their skin. They breathe through their skin. It's just not a good situation. And also, Fiona is a very aggressive Pacman frog. I know a lot of Pacman frogs have a very high food aggression, but Fiona is just aggressive towards me. She makes me tongue feed her. If I put food on the other side of her cage, she won't move at all to go get it. She's very lazy. But if I put my hand in the other side of her cage to clean it or to get something out, she will jump across the cage and try to bite me. That's the only time she ever moves, is when she wants to eat my hand off. So I'm going to attempt to get her into her critter keeper while keeping all 10 of these little things, and then I will be back and we will clean her cage. So I just got Fiona into the critter keeper. It wasn't that hard. I just used a little scoop to help scoop her up. She's not very happy in here, so we're gonna try to make this as quick as possible. I just wanted to give you guys a little up close shot of her since you guys don't see her very often. She is getting nice and fat. I actually think she's probably a male just because she hasn't been growing that much recently. But I'm still gonna call her Fiona. She's still gonna be a female, but technically, she's probably a male. I haven't heard her croak or anything, but just based on her size, she's probably a male. Now it's time to go ahead and clean out her cage. The Eco Earth in the critter keeper is from here, which is why it's all a mess, so her water needs cleaned. We're gonna take out all the Eco Earth, clean down the glass, and then we'll put everything back in. So I brought the camera down so you guys can actually see the tank a little bit. I'm going to start off and I'm just going to take out all the decorations. She doesn't have that much because she doesn't use any hides. I just leave a plant or two in there, and then this little piece of cork bark, and then her water bowl, which I'm just going to go ahead and pour out because I have to give her all fresh water anyway. And we'll set those off to the side. And now I'm just going to use this scoop. This is actually like a little litter scoop, but this is what I usually use. And it works pretty good to get the majority out. And I'm just going to put all the Eco Earth in this trash bag. And I'm just making a mess and not getting any of it actually in the bag. As you guys can see, a lot of the Eco Earth is way more dry than it should be for a Pacman frog, and I just sprayed this down this morning. I mist it down twice a day, and it just dries out way too quickly. So that is why we're going to be changing from the ceramic heat emitter to the heat pad on the side of the cage. I'm going to take out the background just so I can make sure I get everything out. And there's a giant roach that has obviously been hiding back on the background for a while. Where did it go? We'll feed that to Fiona afterwards. Okay, so I got the enclosure cleaned out. There's still a little bit of eco earth at the bottom, but it's nothing major. There's no poo or anything. Half of the dirty eco earth actually ended up on the floor. The bag fell off the table. It was a great fun. I'm gonna have a lot of fun cleaning that up afterwards. I went ahead and rinsed off her water dish and her plant, and I got her another plant. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the background back in here. Before I put the background all the way in, I'm going to take the probe for her thermostat and run it down behind there. I do use a thermostat for all of my reptiles. This is just an ink bird that I got off of Amazon. This makes sure that the heat never gets too hot. You don't want anything happening because stuff can malfunction. So I'm going to go ahead and run this probe under this little section. That's an awful noise. And then leave a little bit of extra out here. And then push the background into place. So I left a little bit out here, that way I can put the thermostat over on this side where the heat pad's gonna go. Now I'm gonna grab my Eco Earth. I do buy the loose stuff. I know it's more expensive and it's a lot cheaper if you buy the compressed stuff. I just absolutely hate the way those blocks feel. I'm weird about textures and they really gross me out. So I just buy the loose bags of Eco Earth. So we are going to put this in here first. As I make a mess again, I'm really good about making a mess. So I'm gonna give her a few inches of this so she has plenty of space to completely burrow herself if she wants. She doesn't completely burrow much anymore. She did a lot when she was a baby, but now she doesn't burrow completely. But I still wanna give her enough so she has the option if she wants. So that is a pretty good amount. The one good thing about getting the blocks that I don't use is when you make them, they are already wet, so you don't have to worry about wetting this down. So now I have to get some water and wet this down so it's nice and humid. Okay, so I think I finally got it to a good consistency. I will mist it a little bit more before I put her in here. I just don't want to get it too soaked. I keep it to where you can compact it with your hand and it stays, but you don't want water dripping out. At least that's not how I do it. So now all the Eco Earth is in there. So now I'm gonna add her water dish. I'm gonna put her water dish in the front corner where it was before. Her heat pad is gonna be back over in this corner. So I'm gonna put her water dish in the opposite corner so it's on the cooler side. I'm gonna bury that down a little bit so it's a little bit easier for her to hop in and out of. She doesn't get in there much anymore. She got in there a lot more when she was younger, but she doesn't get in there much anymore. I know some people don't use water dishes, but I still like to have them just in case she does feel like she needs a soak. Next, I'm gonna put in her little piece of cork. I'm gonna put this back in the corner. I've seen her go under here like once, but she doesn't use it very often, but I still like to have something in there for her to hide. And then I have her plant, and all these are rinsed off and clean. I'm gonna put this plant up in the front so she has some hiding spots up here. And then I also grabbed another little plant I had laying around. This is one that she didn't have in here before, but I thought I would add it also. So I'm gonna add it over here kind of in the cool corner. So if she wants to go behind that log, there is a little bit more coverage. And I know it looks super bare, but that is honestly all I put in a Pacman frog cage, a water dish, a couple hides, and that is it. So now the last thing to add is the heat pad. Like I said, I'm gonna put it back over here on this corner. I'm just using this Zoo Med heat pad that you saw in my last haul. I keep my house usually around 75 or 76, which is a lot warmer than most people. So she really doesn't need that much supplemental heating, which is why I think this heat pad will work great. I am gonna put it on the side of the tank instead of the bottom because in nature, a Pacman frog will burrow if they wanna get cooler. So I don't wanna put the heat pad on the bottom because if she burrows, I don't want her to get warmer. So if I put it on the side, it should give her a little bit of supplemental heat over in this corner, but it won't heat up everything and she'll still be able to burrow if she wants. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it over here. This is one of the sticky ones, so I have to be very careful with my placement because once you stick it on, you're really not supposed to remove them. A little bit below the surface of the bedding. I'm not gonna be filling up her water dish yet just because where I'm filming isn't where she stays. I can't film on the reptile rack where she normally is because there's not enough space for me to move around and film everything. So I will fill her bowl after she goes back in there. So for now, this is it. So we will grab Fiona and we'll put her back in and give you guys a little bit closer look. So here is Fiona in the critter keeper. She's still one unhappy little frog. Like I said, she is not my biggest fan. So I'm going to go ahead and open the critter keeper, slowly turn it on its side, and then let her hop back in on her own. It stresses her out less. I don't have to touch her skin, and I get to keep all 10 of my fingers, which is a plus also. I'm actually just going to let her sit. I don't want to force her out because I'm not going to stress her out. So we will be back when Fiona decides that she wants to see her new enclosure. So it took a few minutes, and I did have to turn off my filming light to make it a little bit darker, but she finally decided to come back out. So let me grab the camera and give you guys a little bit closer look at her new setup. So here's Fiona in her clean cage. Like I said, there's no water in here yet because I do have to move it back onto the reptile shelf. There is Fiona being a very upset little blob. And then she has the plant up here. The heat mat is back in the back. With the thermostat probe, I still do have to move that around a little bit. And then back in that back corner, she just has a plant and her little piece of cork bark. So I'm gonna go ahead and move Fiona back into her permanent spot on the top shelf of the reptile rack. So her enclosure is up on the top rack of the reptile shelf, like I said. She is in there. I went ahead and I freshened up her water and I misted the tank down so it's nice and humid. She's just gonna sit there and think about how much she hates me. But I'm sure this video wasn't that great. That's why I never film cleaning videos, because I feel like I'm just awful at them. I can never get it done. But hopefully you guys did enjoy seeing Fiona, since you guys don't see her very often. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.